Hey guys, thank you for having me. If you haven't donated already, make sure to keep donating for Daniela's fundraiser. I am really excited to be here. I'm going to read some old stuff and then some new stuff, and then at the end we'll do a fan favorite. So I'm starting with a poem about the Ever Given, which was that boat that got stuck in the canal. I think that was this year. Your power is mighty as nations quiver at your build, ever awed by the might and mass of disobedience given by you. Joined to the bank of Suez, crashing the bank of the world. I know you're listening. Are you listening? To the harsh, to the violence of my steel wrecking your soft clay. I'm sorry it must go this way, tugged at either end by a planet praying to convince hope, desperate for an infographic to explain away the pain. When the pirates steal clothes from the AliExpress order you placed weeks ago, I hope they wear it stylishly, as if they were the crown jewels stolen from a monarch dethroned. We're all pretenders now. So next up is a couple pieces from a 2018 chapbook that I did. I yearn for a quiet warmth, rested on the dried land where two rock-like pelvi rise from the earth from which I emerge, learning to scourge the land and thrive off the symbiosis of this Mars. The earth is red here, pigmented, stained. I lie below the canyon, incubating and relish in the gifts left for me in the reservoir of a cactus's eternity. Came down the mountain, dragging. Red rocks scurry round my unsightly, calloused with each step. Where do you go when you stop? I asked once years ago, and still of myself, blending into the desert surroundings. To touch the sky with a bare hand, reaching through winds of height, I watch a cloud traverse and wonder, if I walk the horizon, can I feel you there? Touch of vapor in the desert leaves, a dampness on my skin's memory. Salute with dirt and sweat, saline for my wounds, like a Mustang on the salt river, and headlights on the gravel. Once I climbed a mountain to get closer to the sky. Have you ever gone shooting the stars? Watch them burst and turn to landmass. This is where they fall. The moon is wide and pale, with my heart looming overhead. Crash, great rock, and relieve us this tension I feel being written in the textbooks of posterity. What will they say of this life when they find my bones crawling out my shoulders like a lovesick child exhausted of her own fuss? Drown in garbage of metropolis, under heap waste textile, under heap flesh, under heap wet concrete, looking to dance but fall across an ocean instead. I miss you. I miss you, and I will always miss you, and I will miss this place, calling out for revolution, disarming you first. When you're ready, wreck me on the cobblestones, raised in a hectic winter by winds of the north and battle cries. Fragmented, like a woman carved of marble at the bottom of a strait, Hercules nude waiting at the gate to futures past. How many times did you try before you birthed me in exile? Now here I am, guzzling the urine of a pregnant mare, giving the new world life. This next one is a new piece. It's called Speed Round, and it's about WarioWare. No more questions, and there's lights flashing everywhere. Take even one breath, and you may falter, lost forever in a sea of bright primary and secondary colors, and you'll never be shaded because your world is two-dimensional now, flat like your personality, and rote, redundant as you regurgitate the same actions repeatedly to no avail. This game has a story mode, but what is it? You hear the jingling of the music in your sleep, fuses getting shorter, burned up in the mania. What is this software that's been installed upon you? Flashing lights and explosions dictate your every answer, rescuing people trapped by your own twisted device and making them compete for respect like a sick, mustachioed jigsaw, attempting to force the world around you to meet your jagged corners. When did this become so intense? Next up is a piece about Melancholia, which is a movie starring Kirsten Dunst, and also about Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a video game. I wonder how it would feel if I never learned the Earth was flat, if I couldn't throw myself off the edge of a continent and hurtle around the Milky Way at 200 kilometers per second. That was the first time I experienced everything at once. Not even the Voyager can do that. Perhaps the earliest attempts at space travel were by astral projection, but I doubt we'll find God at the helm of a rocket or in 128 million pieces of debris any more than we already can. I'm not sure what holds more terror, sea levels rising to swallow our coasts, or being trapped in the second dimension. Higher and higher and higher. Is getting free really what this is about? Ascension? Or is it the emptiness that makes us so uncomfortable we must fill it with shiny objects, determined to make our world a living hell? The Kuiper Belt just like a corset, constricting ourselves to physicality. The truth is, the Earth could be spheric, or discus, or cubic, or shaped like the arc itself, but I would still not be free of 900 surveillance satellites, and that does not include Google Maps. At night you can see them if you know where to look. Constellations tracking our every move. If every star in the sky is manned by a Sith Lord, I don't want a dummy driving the Tesla. No geometry could save us then. I could disrupt the flow of space travel with lasers radiating from my heart, vectors striking across the sky and steel shards shimmering under the rays of an artificial sunlight. A sunlight that one day might be all that we know when eternal clouds of smoke cover the sky in an endless night. We're due for a temperature drop. The last girl on Earth walked across glowing slabs of ice in Marc Jacobs and leather Ballman armor. Animals cease to exist and are replaced by quadruped AI roaming the land. God is in the machine and in the remains of a body copied so repeatedly, there is no carbon left to identify this based life by. Sometimes I think I might want them to put a chip in my brain, augment my reality like I have my breast. But fembots have feelings too. When COVID-19 infects that hard drive, whose lab will it be born from? And will my vaccine be administered by Marcus Hutchins? No one's ever saved the world twice. So digitize me and install a kill switch, a fever no antivirus software can break. Consciousness uploading to the dreamline. Higher and higher and higher. Pressure release. Because if the little ice age is just 10 years away, we must prepare for a 600-year winter. And when the final option is to cook our meals on the heat of a passing comet, I'll cry out, it tastes like ashes. And this is my last piece, which a lot of you may have heard me read before. It's called Pop Girl's Apocalypse. The sky bleeds in the name of rage. Crimson reminders of violence every night at 5 o'clock. I don't know how light works, but if I did, I would say it's reflecting back to us everything we need to see about ourselves. Pop stars are like seraphim, sent to divinate for the masses. An evil angel whispered in my ear, and it told me to like Taylor Swift. It's quite pleasant a way to live. The air is still warm, though it won't be forever. It never is, no matter how hard I pray. From the side of the highway, I try to capture all the stars who evade me. Sometimes it feels as though I can't even count to 10. I could go deaf from the silence of a year without music, and it would still be better than having to hear the earth's heart breaking over and over and over again. Venus predicted such an outcome, yet I still did not prepare for judgment. One could have all the world's lovers. Those lovers end with the world. Always in your area, announcing themselves, they arrive from the heavens in a mysterious haze of fog and moon glow. Alien soldiers sent from the echelon to usher us through, communicating only in a series of micro-expressions of femininity across an ever-changing landscape of theatrics. The rhythms of their vessels intersect in swift ribbons of movement, dissolve in delicate syncopation, and again. They hold each other, and a blinding flash emanates from their divinely feminine aura. Sex energy dripping off their canonized motion leaves craters where it falls. A meteor shower of polychromatics. In round, they worship the Father above and Mother below. At twilight, the life rising in the wake of their dance coruscates into a soft warmth, radiate until morning. Quietly observing the beautiful destruction she engendered, an angel sobs, amazed by what power she wields. The world is their throne. On it they sit strong and relaxed. Four corners outward facing, aura soft and cool, glow in the fires raging below. She veils herself in a heavy cloak of darkness, raises up embers from the underworld, fearing the light of God she sees, the beauty of her own embodiment. The fabrication of fire flowers across a sky of whistle tones enunciates her final manifestation. There really is nothing left for the pop star to be but sparkly and miserable. I love you on the floor of a concrete bedroom, whispering into the static microphone of an iPhone. 14,000 burning skies, 30 only black. Imagine Phoenix rising in jewels from the death of others to curse the land eternally. The light did come, but it was quickly stolen too. Sweetness runs out, and the deluge will be of your tears. It's a terrifying idea that our pop girls could be soldiers fighting a holy war against us, yet we remain trapped in the dream cycle while they reap the harvest. I close my eyes to the hi-hat, pretend it will be okay. What do you think they'll do when they find out it's all just a trafficking ring? Rihanna meets politicians all over the world. 600 million, now 1 billion. Not nearly enough to release an album. She's just so fucking cool. No wonder nothing ever changes. How do you want the world to end? Skyscrapers crumble in an attempt to deliver something exciting to the public. There's such tragedy in this landscape. They could put on a show for us. At least pop doesn't have borders, even when countries do. Sometimes a bop is all we have to get through to tomorrow. It's punishing to take that away, isn't it? No wonder nothing ever changes. Wars rage in the desert. Dancers move fast and light on their feet. The flotilla left without her, and so she wails in her immodesty. Across the world, we get nothing but reverb. Those are the nights I can't hear you. I felt God in a stadium and God in our home. What if we held it together as the world fell apart? When frightened, I'll hum that song for you again. She'll dye her hair blonde for our better consumption. Battles continue. The same bankers responsible for September 11th bought the masters to Taylor Swift's catalog, and there's K-pop in the DMZ. Turn up the volume on those headphones you left me. The final minute and 45 seconds. This might be the only song we know one day. Does it ever feel like you're disappearing, and soon there will be nothing left? I used to scream. Can a sound survive the end of the world? We could. I would sit in your silence, deaf from the wailing alarms. We live in a world at war, all fighting on different fronts. Love is the work that never stops being worth it, and I'll love you through the apocalypse. The ice caps may melt and the mudfloods may rise, and our favorite pop stars will watch us get smaller and smaller as they travel off to a faraway land. But then the earth will be fresh, terrifyingly new, and we'll meet on this plane again, for that is how God intended it. One of my sisters told me I've lived many lives and maybe near the end of my cycle, like she is too. But I've so much more to feel. Humans die because we've fallen from perfection. I'd rather be 900 years old. Thank you, and make sure you donate. Go, Danny.